was really bad, you know, mentally, physically for sure. That was the main problem. But, you know, we got everything taken care of and we're ready to go.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny. And in today's video, I want to explain and go over Virgil Ortiz's past illness and injury history.
Right before I passed out the last fight, I broke down crying, you know, because I thought that my career was over. And I don't know, it was a real tough time, just to say that, yeah.
Guys, we're only a few weeks away, August 10th in Las Vegas, for the return of Virgil Ortiz Jr. He's taking on Serhiy Bohacik for the interim WBC title at 154 pounds. This is the first time in a long time that Virgil has fought 3 times in a calendar year. We know he made his debut at 154 in January, then he had a fight in April, and now August will be his 3rd fight at 154 against the Ukraine Bohacik. Now, in any boxing forum or online boxing group, you're gonna hear so many theories and opinions on what's been wrong with Ortiz regarding the last few years of his career. I've heard everything from diseases to broken legs to his head's not right, and lastly, which is the most funny in my opinion, his passion for the sport for reasons which have shelved him for the most part of the last few years. So in this video, I want to explain the facts to the fans, to the people who support Virgil or who just support the sport of boxing that may or may not know the actual reasons for Virgil Ortiz's recent health issues. The major one being rhabdo. Before we get into rhabdo, I want to talk about also him having COVID. He was in a fight camp and he came down with the COVID-19 virus when it was at its most virulent a few years back. He had that. We know what that did to his immune system. It was tough for him to train, and the gauge on the severity of COVID person to person was so widespread for anybody to assume or insinuate that it wasn't severe. You got to be a little bit out of your mind to think that this pro athlete in his mid-20s wouldn't want to train. The most significant thing that Virgil Ortiz had to overcome, though, was a thing called rhabdomyolysis. And this is what I want to do the video about and educate you guys on what rhabdo is. Rhabdo usually occurs in the body with extreme endurance athletes or CrossFitters, anybody who's engaging in a higher output. Let's talk a little bit about what rhabdo is. Guys, rhabdo is a breakdown of muscle tissue that releases a damaging protein into the blood. This muscle tissue breakdown results in the release of a protein, myoglobin, into the blood. Myoglobin can cause damage to the kidneys that can be irreversible. Symptoms include pain in the muscles, entire body fatigue, inability to exercise, water electrolyte imbalance, full body aches, muscle cramping, muscle weakness, delayed onset muscle soreness, dark urine or insufficient urine production, kidney damage, and muscle stiffness. The way you treat rhabdo is with early aggressive fluid replacement. This will help reduce the risk of kidney damage, IV fluids, fluid replacement. So guys, rhabdo is nothing to mess around with. Personally, I've experienced rhabdo in my past. I actually experienced it on YouTube. The video's tagged in this current video. Before I started doing boxing content, I'm also a strength and conditioning coach. So I did a pull-up challenge, and the goal was to see how many pull-ups I could do in 1 hour. So I put a continuous clock on. You could watch the hour video. It'll be the most boring video you ever see. But I did over 500 pull-ups in an hour. Now, I had never done really pull-ups in my training program before, but I knew I could do one, and I did over 500. And rhabdo, I want to mention, isn't something that occurs instantly. For me, it was 3 days later, and what it looked like in my elbow joints, right where the muscle head of the bicep inserts here, started swelling up at the bag here. And I had 2 large swollen lumps, and I was freaked out. I called my mom, who's a nurse back in America, and I went to the doctor to get checked out, and sure enough, I had rhabdo, an isolated incident of it. So it's serious. I couldn't train for 2 to 3 weeks, and I did all that just from pull-ups. When we think about Virgil Ortiz, we're thinking about a guy who in the prime of his life, not even yet, he just turned 26. When he got rhabdo, he was 24, 25. A lot of times these pro athletes, they're not gonna know what pain is. The one downside of being an alpha pro athlete is that a lot of times these fighters don't listen to their bodies, meaning that they train through pain. They'll train through the things that average people like you and me will stop and not train. And this is why you see rhabdo occur in CrossFitters, boxers, ultra endurance athletes, marathon runners. Another symptom that freaked me out when I had it is the dark brown urine, and that's a sign of the protein myoglobin in the blood. It freaked me out. With sufficient water, rest, and recovery, I was okay. And this is what's occurred with Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz's rhabdo was so severe, his doctors did say if he were to continue to train, through that muscle and tissue breakdown, he could have faced an early death. So this is what freaked him out a lot. Fortunate for us, for him, his family, and his friends, he's recovered. It seems like he's adapting well to his new weight class. Come August 10th, we get to see the young man perform again.
Excessive heat, or what? I overheated basically, and I was dehydrated, like severely. Yeah, bad, you know. And it's just, if I can't do it no more, I can't do it no more. And really, it was just due to the fact that I hadn't fought. I fought Mean Machine in August of 2021. Then I fought McKinson in 2022 of the same month, and that it was just too long. After the McKinson fight, I was expecting to fight Stanionis that same year, and that was going to be my last 147 fight. So we had already knew this was going to be the last one. We pushed it too long.